All right, here we go. Sorry about that. Getting everything rolling. How are you guys tonight? Welcome to the 1% tribe. Right. Amy, you there? All right, good stuff. I didn't mean to do that to you. Had a little
Oh,
delay there.
yeah. What was happening?
I was trying to get everything prepared
Ah,
because I'm such a prep guy. So, in the meantime, I want to do one other thing. I want to see if this works.
eh,
So, so how was your day?
great.
Good. Good, good. Yeah, it was beautiful. It went from like 90 to perfect.
I know. It's nice and
Hilarious.
breezy out.
Yes. That's what I wanted to show. Let's see. Well, I'll get into this in about yeah, I'll be able to screen share this bad boy because I want to show them what your boy helped me do.
Oh,
And
yeah.
well, let's start with that actually. I'll screen share it right now. So so in for those that are watching all over the place, Michigan, the spring is ridiculous. So all of the wild berries and everything else are going crazy right now. Probably the last month they've been going. So I have two old mulberry trees. And I'm one that keeps always keeps the wild raspberries. I know they're thorny and all that stuff, but man, when they pop, it is awesome. So so I want to show you the pictures I took today and see if this will do it. All right, view that. So this is what Amy's son Tucker helped me do. This is all just junk in there. You can see I haven't weeded very well, but back there is a fire pit, and probably not the best picture, but this gorgeousness. If you see those flowers off the side, this picture did not do justice to how pretty it actually is back there. But this is my first run on this on the left side of the pictures, my first run of the native herbs. It's a little plant. It's going really, really well over there. So a lot of them look weedy, but that's the nature of them. So one in the front is crazy. It's like lemongrass. So that one's kind of cool. I just wanted to
Mm,
show that one. That's a little better of a picture of the herb garden side of it. So three different boxes there. It's going to be awesome.
cool.
There's closer. There you go. So each one, I did only like three or four of each kind just to see how we're going to do. Right.
Yeah.
So, and all of these have medicinal value. So every single one I picked has medicinal value somewhere. So, the lemongrass is obviously the one that I think all of us should do because
Hmm.
it's going well. A lot of bergamot, a lot of different ones. And so
Mm,
this is kind of how I set it up. Found this cool little watering system. I the drip hose thing is cool and I like that, but I really like the natural rainfall type situation. So that's why I went with that. And then these are the wild raspberry. I think they're wild raspberries. They might call them wild blackberries or something,
yeah.
but they are my favorite snack while doing yard work. So they are right now. I thought the chickens would like those a lot more. They
Yeah.
don't really get into them as much. So that's good for me. So, and
Yeah.
then next time I'll do the mulberry tree or something, but that would
Cool.
be awesome. Yes. So there is that. So it's fun, man. We're having a good time with doing a lot of these things. So it's a lot of hard work, but man, is it worth it. It's like so worth it. Just start small when you do it, any kind of gardening thing, and you'll get there. But the biggest kicker is to start small. Don't kill yourself, especially if you got kids and all that other stuff. So that's the thing. So my three tonight, before we start our other conversation, is the three things I found this week. Your oxalates are found in a lot of regular good vegetables. They can be a lot of all fruits and vegetables have abilities to create what they call oxalates. Oxalates are one of the key factors that can cause you kidney stones. Okay, like different types of kidney stones. What they're finding is, in which we all know, but the gut microbiome is key to making sure that you break down those oxalates, as you go. So one of the things you can find out, this article was pretty impressive because if I find somebody with a history of kidney stones, maybe that their gut microbiome is the problem. You know what I mean? That does end up breaking down the oxalates and all those kind of things. So it's definitely something we see it a lot in chiropractic because of the pain associated with those kidney stones. But now I'll understand, like, okay, what can we do to help that person not only help, you know, do something herbally for the kidney stone, but let's fix that microbiome and maybe we won't get those kidney stones. So that's one. I thought this one was cool for Sadie because this one's an interesting one because when my daughters went into this antique shop last week, they kept picking up these postcards. That's what they love going into these antique shops for, is these like old time postcards. You look on the back though, me and Lexi were having the best time. She couldn't read it. She's like, "Can you read the cursive that's back here?" I go, "I can. You can't?" And because me and you grew up with grandma and grandpa that actually wrote like that,
Yeah.
many people had this really fast cursive, right? So
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that Dr. Mercola had an article on was the way you can develop your child's mind is to get them into that kind of thing. Dr. Rachel loves doing, I can't remember it, calligraphy.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it's really fun. You can get books on it. A lot of your bookstores will have a lot of those different things. And then
Yeah.
especially girls, they love doing really cool lettering, and so those kind of things. So he was saying the mind body connection with developing their writing skills. It's something you can do, let's say in the summertime, making some cool, beautiful thing out of calligraphy or, those kind of things. So that remember that with the handwriting. It also connects also with my people that are getting older, we have to do that handwriting stuff. And then the last one before we start is energy drinks are now officially, which surprise, surprise, are officially attached to sudden cardiac arrest.
Mm-hmm.
I told you that when they first came out.
Yep, for sure.
Because, dear Lord, whatever they put in those things is insanely crazy that even made some kind of ability to get out there. But
Yeah.
I was like, and the addiction factor of those. Trust me, I'm not judging if you are addicted to those. I promise you. It's a actual true addiction, and that's the scary part. It's more about how crazy it'll make your body, and oh man, it could be a thing. So,
Mhm.
but tonight is going to be about joint and arthritis in general. I know we've covered this a few times. Hopefully, tonight will give a little bit of insight into like the three-prong approach. So it's not going to be a huge long one because I want to make sure we focus in understanding the chiropractic principle, the above, down, inside out, the vitalistic way to understand how to prevent arthritis. So it's a little more conversationally, so we'll go through the slides pretty quick because I think we've gone through these before, but at the same time, it'll be worth it. So, all right, let's go into, let me get this off the screen. Okay. Man, I'm getting good at this. All right, here we go. 1% Tribe Solutions to Improve Arthritis. So, what we're going to do tonight is kind of go through a couple movement patterns to improve the arthritis situation. We're going to explain it a little bit in detail what arthritis is, what it means. There's so many different categories of arthritis. We're going to just talk about basically keeping your joint as healthy as we can. I don't want to pinhole this conversation into a certain kind of arthritis because I think that actually hurts us. Because most of the things we're always going to discuss is going to help each individual arthritis. You may have to need some help or like some coaching or chiropractic or whatever you'd like to do, holistic to see what the next step is if you have like a basic condition or more specific condition, because there's rheumatoid, psoriatic, there's all kinds of different arthritises out there. And what we have to do is understand when they say arthritis, it means inflammation is the itis portion, and arthur or arthrosis is the joint. So arthritis is joint swelling. Okay. So that's how we're going to kind of approach it tonight. Degenerative arthritis isn't necessarily, that's the only one that doesn't really fit the arthritis category in a way, because it's inflammation that's been there for a really long time and causes that inflammatory to become bone. That's what is actually occurring. So that bone isn't, they just don't form, right? They just don't form bones. Let's say, I'll give you an example. Like, so we don't just form a bone spur. There's chronic inflammation in a tendon, right? And that tendon over time says, listen, you're not doing anything about this. I have to do something. So then it forms the bone and those kind of things. So that's why you see the arthritis that you do. That's degenerative arthritis. And so some people, yes, they have a genetic a little quicker to it. However, we know through epigenetics that we can control our own stuff, right? So just remember that nutritional recommendations that can help that. And because they became, we could do some mental stuff tonight as well. That's not on my list, but I wasn't sure. And then herbal remedies to begin the journey. So, because arthritis is a tough one because there's so much out there in the intranet world that is, and some of it's very valuable. The problem is like, what do you do? You know, how do you start? So that's where I'm at. So our first thing is going to be about movement. And so it's all going to be about balance. When arthritis is present, one of the key areas we need to look at is to try to balance our movement with the understanding of balance, like movement patterns. So Amy and I have been through, and we'll probably do it again at some point here once we've gone through each package that we're, herbally doing. We'll probably go through those joint movement patterns again, the feet, the knees, the hips. It's super important to understand like the biomechanics of the movement pattern. Retraining is the key to understanding, and we have to focus on the idea of that retraining. And so we have to start weirdly with arthritis at the neurological level. And so in my world, arthritis should be the number one thing I see every day, because chiropractic is like an essential part of making sure those joints work, that allow the nerves to work, that allows the function to work. So that's one. Then we have to actually neurologically train the rest of your body to change its ways, because the movement pattern is typically why the arthritis occurs. Now, we're going to talk like before, there's conditions out there that have a different causation, but at the same time, all of these will help that as well. All of the different ones. If you suffer from rheumatoid, the things we're going to talk about tonight will help that. If you suffer from psoriatic, same thing. It's just a different causation, right? So arthritis is the degenerative arthritis is what we're going to talk about tonight specifically. So a runner, let's say you're a runner and you start getting arthritis in your knees. Happens to pretty much all, right? Maybe switching your situation. So maybe changing your neurology to a different activity that might get you the same thing. So maybe switch to a bike. If you're a biker, you start having low back degenerative arthritis because of the amount of biking miles you put on there. Maybe you switch to hiking or walking, right? And then stretch routines. So stretch routines is where I want to start. I got a couple videos here. So let me, I think I can do this. Okay, sweet. Okay. This the one? Yeah, this guy's really good. Okay. So I'll show you a little. This guy's really good. So I want us to kind of watch what he does. It's called Versus Arthritis. It's really, really good, actually. I don't know if we'll go through his whole thing. I'll just see if you have any questions, Amy, wave, and then we'll stop it in the meantime. But it's
Okay.
21 minutes long, but we'll get a few in there.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Jay. I'm a physiotherapist and I help people with arthritis and joint pain. Today, we're going to go through our morning routine. We're going to do a number of exercises to loosen up our joints from the neck all the way down to the toes. This routine is going to take about 15 minutes and is great to do first thing on the morning, either before or after breakfast. Now, there's a variety of different conditions, so make sure that you listen to your own body and go at your own pace. If you've got any questions at all, speak to your healthcare professional. Let's get started. Now, our first two exercises are going to be focused on the neck. So make sure that you sat somewhere comfortable, either a chair, sofa, or even on your bed. So we'll begin by setting our posture. I want you to be nice and tall through the neck, chest proud, shoulders relaxed behind you. We're going to begin with the head tilt. So let's take our ear across to the shoulder, where we'll hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently return back to the center. And again to the opposite side now, where we hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back to the center. Let's go again. Now remember, take this as far as you feel comfortable. We should be looking to get a nice stretch down the side of the neck. If you do notice a pulling sensation from your shoulder down towards your elbow, that's fine. Just ease off the touch. Back to the center. And again, let's take that ear to the shoulder. Hold there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back. Our second neck exercise is the head turn. So we're going to find that good posture once again. Keep our shoulders square. We'll gently turn to one side as best we can for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and gently back to the center. Cross to the opposite side. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and gently back to the center. Remember, go at your own level with these exercises this morning. Out with the arm lifts. So we begin this movement by putting our hands behind our heads, and we're going to squeeze our elbows back for 5 seconds before locking them behind our backs and squeezing our elbows back for 5 seconds. Now, if you find it uncomfortable getting into this position, you can always put your hands on your shoulders or use a stick behind you. So let's give it a go. Hands behind the head and squeeze those elbows back for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Behind your back and squeeze those elbows back for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And again to the head and squeeze those. Sticking with the shoulders for this one, let's go into our arm stretch. So we begin by setting a posture. Nice, tall through the neck, chest proud, arms by our sides. Let's reach up towards the ceiling and hold that position for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently come back down. And again, let's reach up towards the ceiling, palms facing each other, and hold that position. Really starting to stretch through those shoulder muscles, warming up the shoulder joints. And again, let's come up. Try and reach through your fingertips if you can. For this next exercise, we can sit down or you can remain standing. I'm going to sit down here. So start with a good posture, arms by your side. I'm going to work 2 hands at once, but you can just work 1 at a time if you like. So let's begin with these elbow bends and gently pull the hands up to the shoulders and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and gently straighten the elbows as best we can. And let's take them back up. Hold there for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and gently coming down again. Remember, go at your own level with these exercises. So for this one, you can be sat down as I am, or you can remain standing. We're going to start by getting our elbows at a 90-degree angle. So you can use the support of an arm from the sofa, or you can use a table, or you can even do like I'm doing and just rest it by your side. Let's begin with that wrist flex position. Let's gently take the hand down and add a little bit of overpressure. We'll hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come back to the center. Let's extend the wrist and overpressure for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently coming down again. Hold that position for 5 seconds. Remember, go at your own level with this. And back up. Taking that wrist as far as you feel comfortable. It is the morning, it might be more stiff. Let's get our fingers and hands moving with the finger tendon glide. So for this exercise, we're going to go through 3 different movements. They consist of the hook fist, the full fist, and the straight finger fist. I'm going to work 2 hands at once, but you can work one at a time if you like. So let's give it a go. Let's go from the hook fist and gently open up, full fist and gently open up, and straight finger fist, gently open up. And again, hook fist, gently open, full fist, gently open, straight finger fist, gently open. And again, let's go through that hook fist, adding a little bit more pressure each time. Trying to really work your grip this morning, getting us ready for day-to-day tasks where we use our... Sticking with the hands, the next stretch we're going to do is the thumb stretch. So for this one, I want you to put your hand out like you're saying stop, with your thumb stretched out to the side. From there, we're gently going to take the thumb across to the base of the little finger. So let's give it a go, stretching across the palm as best we can, and gently return out. And again, stretching that thumb across the palm as best we can and gently returning out. So we're getting a nice stretch of the muscles which move the thumb there. Coming right. So that's our upper body exercises done. We're now going to go into some exercises which focus on the hips, knees, ankles and feet. So for this first exercise...
Before it gets done, just that upper body stuff would be worth adding to your routine. I'm telling you right now, the amount of stuff, especially if you use your hands or your computer all day, just doing that is fantastic. I recommend. This guy is pretty awesome. I don't know when he did this, but it's called Versus Arthritis. So remember that. This guy's real good.
The hip flex, you're going to need something to balance on. I'm going to use a chair, but you can use a wall or kitchen worktop at home. So make sure you're standing up nice and tall. We're going to be doing 5 repeats on each leg. Let's start with that left knee, up to about 90 degrees and then gently back down. Let's work the opposite side, lifting up to about 90 degrees and gently back down. Now remember, go at your own level with this one, just taking that knee up as high as feels comfortable for you. Now let's get into our squats. So for this exercise, you're going to need something to balance against. I'm going to use the back of a chair, but you can use a kitchen worktop at home as well. We start by facing our surface. I want your feet to be hip width apart and flat to the ground. We're going to find a good tall posture, chest up nice and proud, hands on the surface in front of us. We're going to engage our abdominal muscles just a touch and keep a neutral spine as we bend the knees as far as we feel comfortable, keeping the feet flat, not getting those knees too far over the toes, and gently push back up. Let's give it a go. We'll go for 10 repeats. So up nice and tall, maintain that neutral spine as we bend the knees as deep as feels comfortable, keeping those feet flat, knees not pushing too far over the toes. For our next exercise, we're going to need something sturdy to step onto. The bottom step of your staircase at home will be fine, or if you live in a flat or bungalow, an outdoor step will do just as well. So I'm going to use a step box for this exercise. And let's start by setting our posture nice and tall. If you've got a handrail or banister, feel free to use that to help you with your balance. And let's start by going left foot lead and down and right foot lead and down. We're going to work 10 repeats of this exercise. Back down and right foot lead and down. Next exercise is the sit to stand. So we're going to begin by finding a seat in which your knees are at least 90 degrees. I'm going to use a chair, but you can use a sofa or your bed at home as well. Let's position our feet hip width apart with our ankles underneath the knees. The key to this exercise is not using your hands to stand up. We want to keep our back nice and neutral, chest up, shoulders relaxed throughout the movement. So let's give it a go. We're going for 10 repetitions. And gently push through the feet, stand up nice and tall, then gently sitting back down again. And again, let's push through the feet, stand up tall, gently sitting back down again. The key to this exercise is sitting down quietly. If we can do that, that's showing us that we've got really good control and strength in our thigh muscles.
Okay. So that is as far as it goes. However, that was really good.
Yeah.
If you did that every morning,
Yeah.
life would be really, really good. So just remember that versus arthritis. I want to make sure I subscribe to him as well. So just totally worth it. Like, yeah, I don't know how many videos he does just like that, but that was really good. So I
Yeah.
think he covered pretty much everything in the movement part I wanted to. So we'll go back to our slideshow. But did you have any questions on that?
No,
Are you
those were good stuff. It's amazing how small some movements can be, but how much you can feel them.
Yeah. Well, and the hand stuff is particularly important. Like we should be doing a lot of that. I'm seeing, you see a lot of carpal tunnel issues and a lot of pain. The problem with the further, okay, so here's a rule of thumb. The further away from your core body the pain is, the harder it's going to be to reverse the condition. So a lot of times with carpal tunnel, or plantar fascia, if you ever notice, those people suffer, right? And one of the things that we have to do, because it's further away from the nervous system, right? So it's the furthest away from your brain and spinal cord. So it ends up taking a lot longer to heal that way. So, what are the two? Feet and hands? We really, really want to make sure we're stretching and taking care of those two things, or else you have other issues, and the length of time they can actually you could suffer is pretty horrific. So taking care of it before it hurts is a good idea. All right. Whoa. All right, hang on. All right. Okay. I think I made my thing. So how do I eat clean? So we got to eat correctly for arthritis as well. And so but there's so much out there. So that's where I want to give you a couple bullet points, but I don't want to like overwhelm you. Obviously, sugar's a major remember what we said, joint inflammation, right? And in our other talks, years of talks, or a couple, well, however many weeks we've been doing this, the sugar is a bad thing, right? And so those things and processed foods and those kind of things lead to inflammatory processes. So that is one reason you want to eat as clean as humanly possible. Now, that means, there's several diets out there. I don't want to get you overwhelmed with all that. So we're going to go into the foods we can replace or start adding in and get you to that place where you're eating cleaner, because there's this thing called, one of my favorite things anytime I hear the nerd stuff, is anthocyanins. I just like saying the word, but anthocyanins are the purple and red berries. They have a huge amount of uh, these anthocyanins in there. They're huge for arthritis. I'm sorry, inflammation. So all the purple and red berries you can possibly think of. One reason it's all good for your heart is these anthocyanins as well. There's resveratrol. There's a lot of different pieces of a berry that are fantastic. They taste good and they can help you a lot. So remember that they have these, like you got some arthritis stuff. Look at some different types of berries. You can pick any of them, like those kind of things. So that's good. The herbal spices, like the food grade spices that you would take for allowing this inflammation to get out of the joints. Cinnamon's a really good one. Ginger, garlic, turmeric. So these are all ones that you can change your diet by spicing your stuff with these kind of things, right? So ginger and garlic, finding a way. Turmeric, you got to know what you're doing, right? And then cinnamon. I wish the rest of it would I wish cinnamon and sugar and all that other stuff together would be a thing, but it's just not. So it's cinnamon is delicious. So just remember that. Okay. So one of the biggest critical pieces to the whole joint formula thing that we push on constantly is the key of fish oil. Okay. So fish oil is probably one of the most important things that none of us like taking um, in the entire, nutritional world. Fish oil. Okay. So what happens is omega 6. Omega 6 is we need it in the body, those kind of things. But because of the way our Western American diet is, we get so much of the omega 6 that it becomes a ratio problem. So we should have a 1-to-1 ratio between omega 3s, which is like your fish oil, and that good oil, to omega 6. But right now in our current society, we do 20-to-1 ratio of omega 6s. Okay, so that's what seed oils and the processed stuff, canola oil, the different oils that we do a lot of things, deep fry, think that way. All of those add a bunch of omega 6 to us, and that's a problem. And so we have to get away from that, as a society in general, because I get it. Everything tastes better fried. It does. But we have to start enjoying the tar out of like the good stuff that's not fried, so just be aware of that. Fish oil can be a critical and valuable weapon for you. Okay, so this is where Amy comes in. And this is the only thing I would find, but so remember as Amy's looking stuff up, in our 1% tribe, we go into every way that it can be any way that arthritis could be there. So remember that it's thoughts, toxins, trauma, right? So trauma, we talked about movement patterns can be traumatic. You have toxins, right? The sugars and the fish, the bad fatty acids, versus good fatty acids. So what we want to talk about now is the mental aspect of arthritis. So it's really good to understand these things, because when you do, you can literally change your genes. You can change your understanding with all three of them encompassed together. So don't take this as like, uh-oh, I have a mental issue, right? Because the first thing I found was there's a negative mindset that occurs with arthritis in general. Now, does that means that was your program, right? Program growing up, you probably had some negativity, whatever, but maybe you didn't, right? So we have to understand that these three major keys here. So don't give yourself a condition just based on this. But Amy, I will
All
let
right.
you stuff.
So there's arthritis in general, arthrosis, gout, arthritis in fingers, rheumatoid arthritis. So I'm just gonna read
Do the general one tonight. And that, yeah, if you want to, or if it's huge, or
no, it's
yeah, just kind of
not I mean there's like general description in each one that's long, but then at the end, like the positive affirmations, that's what I'll read.
okay, perfect. That would be
Okay,
good.
so for general arthritis, it says, from now on, I accept to test my true intentions about love. I must change my way of thinking and adopt a new attitude toward the situations in my life. By remaining open to love, that is omnipresent everywhere, and by expressing it more honestly, freely, and spontaneously, my heart will be radiant and I will respect others as much as myself. Friendship, understanding, and forgiveness are now available for me. I accept that the only person over whom I have any power is me. I see myself as the creator of my life. The others are only a reflection of how I treat myself. By taking good care of me, the others will do as much.
Excellent. That was awesome. So, so you can hear how when we have these programs, and this is like Dr. Bruce Lipton stuff, I got to reach out. He might actually. I'm going to try to reach out. We're going to try to have an interview. We almost had an interview tonight, Amy, actually. My
Yeah?
friend Fernando. Yeah, my friend Fernando. Maybe it'll be next week. So I'm kind of excited. So we're trying to set that up as we go. So, um, but yeah, so when we look at these things, you got to understand it's about the program that was born, you were born into, right? So you were born into this program, you've learned these certain situations. Now it's time and understand being able to not worry about the program you built, but how do we reprogram or reframe or do those things in benefit of me in the long term? Arthritis is definitely think about the condition itself holistically. It's a very slow progressing, you don't know what's coming. It's not a fast thing, right? So it's a very chronically kind of creeping up on you. Think of thoughts like that. Okay. So think of your emotions and your mental clarity in that thing. Maybe there was an underlying negativity that was in the family when you were growing up, and those little tiny things are what kind of guided you to the mental problem that led to the mindset, right? So don't let it stop you. Just know that it's there, and then maybe start doing some self-reflection that we could understand that a little better. So, or come talk to Amy and she'll give you all the sweet, awesome the mindset pieces that we need. So, anyway, so let's keep going. It'll be
Okay.
good. All right. So this is what we're offering at the office in like an herbal kind of test package, if you will. Because like when we look at things, you have to start somewhere, and it's a lot easier to do it as a team than it is, online and pushing Amazon buttons. I know the Amazon buttons look fantastic, and they literally mentally mess with you with their auto, all they know you more than you. Your Amazon shopping cart probably knows you better than you do. And
Mhm.
so that makes it a really hard problem to understand and get good information. They know what you're going to push the button to, right? And see what's going to happen. Where take it as a team approach. Use the conscious collective. Use that collective knowledge to go there. And that's why we started this 1% tribe stuff. So our first beginning is called, so we call it the arthritis support health joint support. So the first one's Devil's Claw. And I'll tell you about this one that's kind of hilarious. So this one is really good for pain and inflammation in the joints and the connective tissues. That's a lot of times where a lot of these major arthritises are kind of housed. That one tastes disgusting, just to let you know. I found out through a friend. I that one, but it does really, really good. So this is like the pain reliever that you can take other than a chemical that would, have different. It's a nice natural way to do it, especially if it works for you. It's really good. The company we have, Chups, they created a joint support formula. It has 14 ingredients, including some bovine or it's cow, yeah, bovine, bovine chondroitin and glucosamine from crab shells. So they went crazy with their joint support because joint support is important. It's just really, really, there's a lot of studies out there. We're not sure. I'm not totally in love with chondroitin and glucosamine in all kinds of fashions. I see it all over the market everywhere. But if I'm going to take it, and myself personally, I will take it but it's going to be the best it can be. And that's what that joint support is all about. ProEn's is an interesting one. That's done by a company that we carry. It is it is a combination of turmeric, bromelain, and ginger with a few other things in there. And it's really geared for chronic inflammation. And so what do you want to do on this one is this chronic inflammation support helps you reduce that inflammation down. You have to, this one's like kind of an everyday thing. Like you're gonna want to take it. So all the patients know, it's all my staff know how this goes. So the it's 6 times you have to take a lot in the beginning to build up the system. So turmeric, ginger, and all those 6 times per day for 3 days. And then you can do 1 to 2 day as a daily dose there. And then emu relief is basically designed as a really good muscle and pain cream for that arthritic condition. So that is what we offer. And it's a good beginning because there's so many more things out there. You start changing your diet, you start doing a little bit of stretching, some nice movement patterns, and then you add supplementation, you're going to be sitting really, really good. All right. So, all right. So we also want to make sure that we are adding fish oil to what we're doing, right?
Yep.
So we didn't have that on our list. And the anthocyanins, which is the berries, which is all good. Eating with spices is another great move. And then we are at the end where what are we going to do for our 1% improvement for this week? So get it evaluated, understand the kind of arthritis that you have and what you're dealing with. That'll help, and get a teammate, get a coach, get somebody around you that can help you if you have one of the more severe conditions. Fix how you're eating. So fix that situation, see how you can do it. Remember, inflammation and arthritis is like a chronic process, so it's going to take a chronic improvement to get there. Fix your movement patterns, make a commitment. If you have a loved one at home, have them video you walking. See what you can do to improve your own biomechanics just in everything you do. And that stretch, I hope that you guys got to see. That was an awesome way to start your morning. And then try some herbs and get evaluated, like see how they all do for you, right? So that is why we set up the starter package stuff, because we can start there and then see where we go from there. So that is all I got.
Cool.
That's all right. Sweet. We did good.
Yeah.
I thought it was going a little. I know anytime that video comes, when it's a good one, it is good. But do you have any questions, Amy?
I do
thought.
not.
All right, cool. All right. I'm gonna ask if Julie, do you have any questions for us tonight, my dear? That is okay. All right. All
Can
right.
you hear me now?
I can.
Okay. Question is these energy drinks are causing the problem. Do they know why? What is the energy drink doing?
Okay, so an energy drink has not only caffeine, but it has this stuff called ephedrine. Ephedrine is a massive one that causes your sympathetic nervous system to go nuts. A lot of times it's very, very powerful. So if you have caffeine plus that stuff, your heart is racing at like tiger levels, right? So if you ever think your heart is supposed to run at a certain beat, knowing the body. So you have relaxing times, it should be lower. Like if you were getting chased by a dang tiger, though, it wants to raise up. Well, if I run, because when you are getting chased by a tiger, you're going to be the most alert physically. You probably have to be. So if I said, "Hey, this tiger's hungry, here we go," and he's after me, I guarantee I'm not gonna. I'm gonna try to run. I'll probably be jumping logs that I've never seen before. You see the stupid human strength, right? the mom with the baby, car's rolling on there. You see the mom pick up the car, right? That's all based on this type of thing. Well, if somebody starts their day, let's say a lot of times I'll see it in construction, 90 degrees and they're roofers, right? And they're starting with one of those. Their heart is running at that. And so, can you do that? Yep, you can absolutely do it. But what's the cost? Your heart eventually says, that was a little too much, man. So that's kind of what is the biggest thing in one of the causes, if you know what I mean, of the sudden cardiac arrest type situation. So, but yeah. So you got any other ones? That was a really good one, though.
Yeah, because what I heard is these drinks have calcium in, but they don't have magnesium. And calcium, magnesium are like a teeter-totter. So if
Yes.
you get pumped up with calcium and your muscle contracts, if you don't have magnesium, it can't relax. Is there
Yes.
something with that?
There is a little bit. Your body does an amazing job. We have to give it credit for where credit's due. If there's other calcium within the body, let's say there's other magnesium within the body. Let's say you took an energy drink with all kinds of calcium, but you ate green leafy vegetables it would balance that. And so what happens is your human body usually gets rid of it up to a point, right? So like what we talked about in the very beginning, these oxalates could build up.
Yes.
That's one reason why, you'll have calcium buildups and those kind of things. So you're not wrong. That's probably one of the causes. I always think the overworking of the heart, though, is
Yeah.
more of it than, the other way. But yeah,
Okay.
so cool.
No, I appreciate the information on arthritis, and I will do those exercises with the hand because I have been weeding like crazy and my hand hurts.
I agree. I agree with you. It's like crazy out there now, but it's looking good. It's looking good. Amy, did you grow anything this year? I can't remember. You didn't grow
No,
it this year. She got a little one. I don't even know if I would have grown anything. So
well,
she can
we've
get,
got this project going on. We're replacing our flooring and painting and all this crap, and I just didn't have time. Well, I didn't make the time to do it. It was a afterthought, and I'm like, I'm not even messing with it this year.
I'm just curious. This is one of the funniest memories I have with Amy and I. So Tucker comes over when he was little, and we had this big old garden in the back, and all our tomatoes are going nuts. Like we had all the little tiny tomatoes. I swear to you, I think that kid put down 3 quarts just in standing there. I've never seen anybody eat that much. Like he wasn't that old. He had to be like,
He was probably what it is was
because
it when
it's
he
been a long time since we had that garden location.
I
So
think he was over there weeding the garden maybe or something for you, but he was probably had to
you
have
guys are
been
doing something, helping us out, doing something.
7 or
And then
8.
he was just back there. I never seen a kid eat 3 quarts of like the little tomatoes.
Oh yeah.
3 quarts. There's no good. I'm like, dude, you're a vacuum cleaner. It was awesome.
Yeah.
So with that was one of my favorites. We will see you next week, hopefully with an awesome interview. So, and then
Cool.
Julie, next week, me and Amy are going to try to experiment this week with the way we want to do the live next week. So it might be a little different, but I will make sure you know. So it
Okay.
might not be a Zoom link. It might be something else. So we
Okay.
talked about it. So, okay.
Sounds good.
Awesome. All right, guys. Have a good night.
You too. Bye.